Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Guido with a Tactics Talk. I loaded into Tundra in my 252U Premium Tier 8 Russian Heavy tank. Usually when I do these Tactics Talks, I'm trying to talk about something specific, but for today, I just aced this tank, had a pretty good game. So we're just going to show you a game, which is one of the reasons we play WOT. I just had a good time. So over 5,000 damage on this one. Just quickly with this map, when you're in a heavy, pushing down here onto the west side and working this alleyway is one of the typical heavy spots. Usually the mediums, faster tanks will go after this hill over here, or at least contest it, if not take it. And then there's generally some people camping back in the back on both sides of the map. You can take a heavy over to the hill, and that can surprise them. You can see that our Type 4 is going over there and the 100.01, as we do have quite a few heavies, so that's not a bad thing. So immediately I expected one of their Tier 9s to be over here. The T10 was the one I thought would probably see, and then probably a couple of other of their heavies. What's happened behind me is I have a low coming up, a 4503 way back there, and the Oni, who will get pretty tore up here as he's trying to advance and take shots. He's going to sort of side scrape right there, but he gets eaten up. In general, what happens here is these three tanks, except for the OHO to some extent, more or less ignore me and don't try to shoot me. They're working on the guys that are behind me, which is probably a pretty good idea. Once they take those guys out, more than likely is their thought, then they can all come around that corner, flank me, and take me down. I'm going to rush this shot as I'm moving. I didn't really want to get derped by the OHO right there. You can see the Onis getting hit. You'll see that I turn my camera around quite a bit. I'm just going to show you what I do with my camera when I'm fighting, because I want to see what's going on behind me, who's alive, who's dead, where they are. Are they moving up to help? Yep, there's the Oni dead. And you can see that on the bottom right as well with the battle messages, but I just want to kind of look around and see what's going on there. And while I'm reloading, I don't have anything else to do. I'll just take a more careful shot into the OHO's turret on that one. And you can see that over on the other side of the map, we've got some issues going on. We've been pushed to the backside. They do have the hill for the moment, and they are overpowering us over there as far as numbers. So you'll note that we have 4 tanks over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Maushan has now moved around and is coming up behind them. But our 5 tanks are fighting 3 of theirs, so we need to get this done. That's a nice shot by him, puts it right into my, right into my hatch. I actually spun around to see where on earth did he just pin me, and it was in my hatch. So it was a good shot. I'm going to come around here, put another one in his side. He's really staring at one of the other tanks. They're trying to kill my buddies off, who are doing a decent job of staying alive. Now the Maushan comes around, and I'm expecting him to take out that OHO pretty quickly, but that doesn't really seem to happen here. Come around and just take the shot of opportunity. I wanted to hit the IS-6, but he was kind of hidden, so I'll just take the better shot. Shot selection-wise, yeah, you want to try to kill those one-shots if you can, but take what you got. Don't overexpose yourself. That time he did come around, gave me the shot I wanted, and I'll take him down. Now we mess around with this T10 for a while, and you can see the Maushan is still screwing around with the OHO, and he just gets him dead right there, which is good. Also, the other thing I'm doing, you'll notice that I'm timing the shots from the T10 and the IS-6, trying to come around after they've fired. And here comes the Maushan up behind. And you can see that then we lost on the other side. So because we mutzed around with 3 guys here and 5 of our tanks, the other side of the map was weak, and now we've got some catching up to do. That is a problem with spots like this on this west side of this map that are very channelized and specific. If you don't get done and get out of them quickly, you can find yourself out of position for the rest of the map. So that is one reason why a lot of people will avoid these kind of spots. However, if you don't contest it or at least stop them, then all those heavies would have pushed through and come around behind us, which can be an issue as well. So their object has gone up onto the cap. He drives back. I'm really not sure what he's looking for back there. We don't really have any TDs, and more than likely, based on if he was looking at his own mini-map, based on what he was seeing numbers-wise and tanks that are listed, he should know really nobody is back there. And what he'll do is actually head off to the east side and back around. Maybe he's trying to get up around the tanks that are on the hill, the back side of the hill over there, which is not a bad idea. Had he just pushed in behind us, he could have given us some trouble, especially if he'd done it while the T10 was still alive. So we'll go chipmunk speed here. I will come up here. Now in most good games like this, you're going to have some things go right for you. And RNG was really my friend on this match. And what you're going to notice is, as I come over here, that I'm going to get some pretty good Pretty good RNG shots on these guys. And I abused this other 252 pretty badly. Through no real skill, just kind of the whole, look at this, blap. So that goes through it. Not only does it hit him, it hits him in the right spot and it goes through. So it didn't hit him low on the track, it didn't go over his back deck, it went right in the spot I needed it to pin. And I actually get 2 more on this poor guy in the same way. Take a shot on the pilot. He's dropping off the backside, coming around behind the defenders over there. Now, one of the reasons I'm not charging across here is they do own, this is another RNG that just loves me right there. They do own the hill, and I'm figuring the Type 4 is probably not going to last very much longer. So if I go charging across this open space and they all get up on these perches, I can really just have a bad day right there. Plus, this guy's still here, the object's still here. So the intention is to try to clear these guys out if I can, and then I can hopefully move forward without being spotted, at least for a ways. Now, this is just terrible, this poor guy. I mean, there you go. Thanks, RNG. As much as we complain about it, sometimes you get it back, right? So we'll go chipmunk speed here, moving up. I am at 4,605 damage. The low is on the cap, pressuring him a little bit. I don't know, I wouldn't really be there if I were him. You can see that the Panther II is trying to take on the Malshin. The Malshin is just driving around, wrecking everything, because they don't really have an answer for his armor, do they? Not with what's left anyway, unless they can really surround him. So the Panther II is right there. That little V in the rock, that little V right there, is something you can use to shoot people. So knowing the terrain, I knew the KR was up above, so I considered charging forward and going after the Panther II, but I knew that if I did that, the KR would then come around me. And there's no real reason right now to let them both get surrounding me and start shooting me on the side. He just charges me for whatever reason, so now I can keep the KR in front of me. Relatively slow reload on the 252U. KR doesn't have any good choices. If he goes back, then he's got guys coming behind him. I'll hit him in the front. I actually try to hit him in the tracks and track him, but no go. Seems like every time I'm hit right there, I get tracked. And I really screw up right here because what I did is I stopped. I should have kept going across because I knew there was that dead tank right there. And I'm thinking, I have time, but what I didn't realize is the Malshin's actually already up there and he's going to get this kill on that 1%er. So, pretty good game. Ends up being 5,895. Very permissive. You'll note there was no arty in there, so I didn't have to worry about that at all. The place that I went, we outnumbered them pretty well, and while we did beat them, we didn't do it in a very quick, spectacular fashion, so that we ended up having to do a little bit of catch-up over on the other side of the map because that side was undermanned. So that is something you have to watch out for when you get a few tanks on one side, more tanks on your side, and your other side is weak. You've got to finish up with what you're doing. Easy for me to say, right? Finish up what you're doing and then get back over there and help those guys out. So there you have it. It was an ace tanker. I'll show you the stats after I stop talking right here. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe, and we will see you.